Hello, good evening, everybody. Ash, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Madhyang, for providing a wonderful solutions that are more practical and feasible. It's so beautiful. I'm so happy to listen to all the key speakers, and I would like to speak more positive, handling the how to handle the situation in a more positive manner. I start from my experience. I have a vulnerable health condition. I have two morbidities, hypertension and asthma. But still, I'm not sitting at home. I'm always traveling, moving around and supporting people, helping poor people, families, migrants, and so many people. So in that way, I'm not careless, but I'm taking all precautions. I'm taking utmost care to prevent infection to me. At the same time, I'm moving around and helping people. So that is a positive message that if for a healthy, positive outlook is most important for a mental well-being. So that is the first message. Keep yourself positive. Then it's very easy for you to handle the situation. But with my experience in moving with rural, uh, tribal populations and urban poor, it's very diverse. There is different impact on different groups that are very diverse. When you take rural, there are different communities. Like we have tribal populations. In our area, we have this Irula tribes. They are known as snake catchers. And now they don't catch snake, but they work as casual laborers. And we have Dalits. Most of the Dalits work as agricultural laborers. They are landless agricultural laborers. We have small, medium, and marginal farmers, small traders and vendors, skilled and unskilled laborers. So each one, this COVID-19 has impacted differently to these groups. For example, tribal people, when you enter into their house, you will not find anything. It's only a shelter, a roof, and nothing will be there. Only few clothes will be there. So every day when they go for work, they earn some money and they eat. If there is no money, they will not complain. They will simply sit at home. So that is the condition. Dalits, the agricultural laborers, that is the same condition for them. Only thing is they may store some grains that they obtain from farming. Medium and marginal farmers, the major risk is because of this lockdown, they could not sell their produce. I found many farmers just leaving the produces in the farm. Like watermelon is a season during this time, and a lot of other water based vegetables. They were just simply thrown in the farm. And people, they were working very hard for 3 to 6 months and waiting for this harvest. They have nothing in their hand. Only they have to pay the debts and there is nothing to eat. So these are the situation of farmers. And small traders, especially the people who are street vendors, they could not do anything. They take money from a money lender, 1,000 rupees, they buy products, they go and sell it in the market, and they come back, they have money only for feeding the family and to buy next day's materials for selling. So this is their condition. When suddenly this entire lockdown is announced, it has completely shattered these families, these people. So they could survive for 1 week, maybe 10 days. Afterwards, it's a huge question mark. So this is when you come to urban slum, there are different type of slum dwellers and relocated labor force. Because of major projects in the metropolitan city, people who were living there were relocated to other places with a without any facilities, without any basic facilities. They were simply dumped in some places. And they were struggling hard to find some better job. They were like surviving. Even that survival was at stake due to this COVID. And you all know about the plight of migrants because it was always in the media and all of us know about it. And the same problem with the slum dwellers. So, but when this problem was there, and we have already discussed about the problems of positive people and key populations. So what we did in our area, how it affected everything. The mental well-being was affected because of various factors. Social factors, their mobility was completely affected. People who went with their two-wheeler, they were taken by police and that was kept, even now it's in the police station. Only now the people are struggling to get their two-wheelers. And they could not access any services. Even if they are sick, they could not go to the hospital. People who are getting regular medication for non-infectious diseases, they could not go and get any medicine. And livelihood is affected, that all we know. Some families, they have organized weddings, they could not conduct the wedding. And economical loss is more. So there is loss of business, the loss of crops, all these things. And for many people, spiritual well-being is affected because many people feel that only when they go to the church or temple, they feel good. So that is also a very big mental barrier for many people who believe that they could see the God when they go to church. So psychological factors, this all add up to the psychological factors. Anxiety, fear, frustration, helplessness, with so many. I could see a lot of suicides happening in and around our area. Even today I saw the suicide of a father and a child. So this is increasing day by day. If we don't address these things, it's going to be a catastrophe. So in this situation, what we have to do is to offer hope and support. People should feel happy that we are still survivors. We are living. When people are dying, when many people are dying on the road, dying due to corona, dying due to various other factors, we are still living. So make them to feel positive and think positive. When you always draw a small line, when there is a line, you draw a bigger line, then this line looks smaller. So that's how I was doing it with some of our people. Some of my friends, some of my known contacts, they were struggling a lot to cope up with this situation. So I just pulled them. You just come with me. Let's go there. Let's do some relief work there. When I took them to different places, when they saw the condition of other poor people, other sick people, they realized, oh, I'm a blessed person. Oh, I can handle it. So that kind of support they get, they think positive, they are able to feel that they could overcome this. That we have to offer to everyone. And then it's not NGOs, it's not government that came to support many people. It's really heartening to see that many individuals, many small groups, they came forward and try to help others. And this WhatsApp, it was so helpful for many people. There were so many WhatsApp groups, and every time this social media is really doing amazing things now. People are sharing their problems. People are sharing small videos of their agonies, and it is shared across the globe. And people have started to helping them, even without knowing their face, without knowing them. People are coming together and coming to help people. So in that way, we could move mountains. I was able to mobilize a lot of resources and I was able to help many people because of this. Whenever we are sitting here in Tamil Nadu, there was a WhatsApp video from the north, somewhere near Bhopal, and people were crying for help. We immediately contacted friends there and we organized help, and we were willing to provide financial support, and they were able to organize help from there. So in this way, we were able to organize help to Gujarat, to many other places, Assam, and organizing help for the migrants who are stranded in other states and migrants who are stranded in our state. So this use of social media was amazing, and we were able to help many people. And it's a kind of a bond. It developed a friendship, a togetherness, giving hope that we are there to help you. So that gives lot of hope and comfort to many people. And a friend, Madiang, and even one of Abina was telling, people are seeking alternatives. When you are not able to earn money, then you are through sex work, you are running your vegetable shop. This is what we were advocating when we are working with key populations. Always have some alternatives. So even Madiang was saying, he was giving suggestions about alternatives. So we always have to think about alternatives. Only that will help us. At these type of crises are going to come very often because of the climatic conditions. So we have to be prepared. We have to keep ourselves very strong, and we have to be ready to face any challenges. So think of alternatives, and we can do more. We can do. When you think, you get lot of ideas. When you seek for help, you definitely get help. That is my main suggestion for everyone. And people who are depressed, I think we have to help a lot of people. Sometimes we receive message about very negative messages, like people are feeling depressed, that you could see from the message. Reach them immediately. Offer your help. Let them not kill themselves without trying any options. So that has to be stopped immediately, wherever possible, whenever possible. We have to help them to come out of it. And there are a lot of online supports. Helplines are available. Government has established a lot of helpline, counseling services, online counseling. People should make use of it. And even just by approaching the police personnel, people are getting help. Just approaching the government officials, the revenue departments. And in our state, I don't know about other states, in our state of Tamil Nadu, even if they don't have any ID proof, people are getting benefits from the government. Only thing they have to do is they have to approach the village administrative officer. So seek. When you seek for help, you will definitely get it. And people who are in ART, the ART centers approached us if we could go and deliver the ART drugs. We provided ART for the past 3 months, we are delivering ART drugs in our districts. So if the services are, if we could do better coordination with the government, with the health departments, with public health system and NGOs, and if we make little effort, we could organize the services for people. It is possible. So organizing support, people, especially our communities, they are always connected with WhatsApp or any other media. Try to find resources using these contacts. You can identify support. Don't go for bigger organizations. It may not come in time. But small initiatives, small organizations like Rotary Club, Lions Club, and you may know anybody personally. Through meetings, you would have approached somebody. They may know you personally, that you are a genuine person. When you go and ask, people will definitely help you. So that's how we organize our resources. Many people they came forward. If I say something, there is a need here. There is, when I request something for people, they immediately they offer. So with your credibility, identify people who trust you, and then get help, and then you organize. This is the time we have to share our resources. Whatever resources you have, try to share it with others. That's what is happening everywhere now. People, it was so amazing to see in a slum area. I gave some provision to a family, and the girl, she called me and told me, "Ma'am, I shared it with 5 other people because they are also starving." So this you could see now. So this is a good time to understand people, to love each other and comfort each other and support each other. So only through this we will overcome this crisis situation. And when you look back, you will definitely feel happy and contented that we have done we are united, we have done something, something fruitful to the society. This is what I wanted to share. Thank you.